It wasn't very long ago that I made a video explaining how there was a pretty good chance that Ford would go bankrupt before 2030. But boy, how things have changed very quickly for Ford within the last few months. And a lot of that comes down to Ford's CEO, Jim Farley. Hello, my friends. Welcome to the Electric Viking. Fantastic to have you here. Welcome to all the new subscribers. Awesome to have you here on board. And welcome back to everyone else. Now, big thank you, big shout out to members of the channel. If you want to become a member and get early access to our videos, click on the link below about membership. Big shout out as well and big thank you to the 80 plus Patreons of the channel. Makes a huge difference to be able to make so many videos every day, to have people helping support the channel. Your support actually means a huge amount. This is really me just saying thank you to those who have donated to the channel. Now, if you want to join the Patreons, you can. I'll put a link in the description below to our Patreon account. Now, for those of you who don't know, Jim Farley is Ford's CEO. He is 59 years old, and he is also a board member of Harley Davidson. Apparently, his career in automobiles was inspired by his grandfather, who began work at Henry Ford's River Rouge plant in 1914. Now, interestingly, Ford was actually born in Argentina to a banker father who graduated from Georgetown University. And before joining Ford in November 2007, Farley was Group Vice President and General Manager of Lexus, responsible for oil sales, oil marketing, and customer satisfaction activities for Toyota's luxury brand. Now, from May 2019 to February 2020, Farley served as President of New Business Technology and Strategy at Ford. From June 2017 to 2019, he served as Executive Vice President and President of Global Markets. And from 2015 to 2017, he was CEO and Chairman of Ford Europe. Now, on August the 4th, 2020, Ford announced that Farley would become CEO of Ford and succeed Jim Hackett. Now, at the same time, it was announced that Hackett would retire and become a special advisor to Ford. Now, interestingly, Farley was nominated to join the board of directors at Harley Davidson. The key reason they said, well, the company's CEO said that it was in an effort to revitalize the motorcycle brand and prepare it for an electric future. Now, Ford have been saying really good things lately, and I've been really liking what I've been hearing. One of the key reasons why? Well, Farley has basically said to employees, yep, Tesla are the lead. They are what we need to become. There's a lot of things they're doing that we need to do. And if we don't do them, then basically we are screwed. To me, awareness is key to success. Obviously, the CEO of General Motors is completely unaware that they aren't actually the best or the number one global automaker of electric cars. And that's concerning. I believe Farley is aware Ford is definitely not the number one global car maker of electric vehicles. But, of course, they intend to be one of the biggest by 2025. And they've drastically changed their plans within the last few weeks to acknowledge what needs to happen at the company. Now, shares for Ford have hit a 20-year high in 2021, as Farley is making a legitimate effort to transform Ford into an electric vehicle company. So Farley has had quite an eventful year. In May, he raised Ford's spending on electric vehicles to $30 billion US before and up till 2025. That's a lot of money between now and 2025. That's an increase from the $22 billion it had planned to spend. Now, by the summer of this year, the electric Mustang Mach-E that Ford rolled out earlier this year was outselling its gasoline counterpart. Farley and Ford's self-driving partner, Argo AI, cut a deal with Lyft Inc. in July to put robo-taxis on the road in Miami and in Austin. Now, in September, he poached Doug Field, who led Apple Inc.'s top secret car project, to become Ford's head of advanced technology. Their goal? Break out of a car's business boom and bust cycles with a revenue stream from software services, hands-free driving, dashboard infotainment that Ford can sell to owners. Now, I know this doesn't sound significant now, but I think this is a huge part of the future. Now, the same month, Ford and battery partner SK Innovation Company of South Korea announced an $11.4 billion plan to build 4 factories to produce batteries and electric trucks in Kentucky and Tennessee. And Ford's 12% stake in Rivian Automotive Inc. paid off massively when the e-truck startup went public with a more than $100 billion market cap, which is more than the value of Ford. So those shares that Ford now own are worth around about 20% of the entire value of the Ford Motor Company. Now, I think Ford is planning to do something with those shares. I believe Ford is being very transparent about what they're planning to do with those shares. And I made a video about that. I'll put a link in the description below to that video. If you haven't seen it and you've considered investing in Rivian, then you want to see it. Now, Farley has been the CEO since October 2020, as I mentioned earlier, and he's coming in after his 2 predecessors saw Ford's stock drop to 10-year lows. Now, when he arrived 14 years ago after a career at Toyota, it was a homecoming. His grandfather, Emmett E. Tracy, worked for Ford in 1916 at the Model T factory in Highland Park, Michigan. Well, now Ford's CEO, Farley, has landed on the top 50 list called the Bloomberg 50. And interestingly, another CEO of the other car company in America, General Motors, is not on the list. Now, Ford stock, like I said before, has been on a roll in recent months, which is a massive turnaround compared to what it's been doing over the last 30 years. And the reason for this, well, comes down to what Ford is doing with electrification. Comes down to the fact that they're bringing out the F-150 electric truck first. And guess what? GM have not made that move yet. What did they decide to do? They decided to make the Hummer. Yep, that's what they prioritized. To me, I've heard the stories. I've heard people say, yeah, but it's just a marketing move by General Motors. It's great. No, the better marketing move was Ford saying, here's an F-150 electric. Market, what do you think? What did the market say? It said, yep, we want it. 200,000 pre-orders within a short period of time. And that doesn't include fleet sales either. So it's probably 400,000 by now. Now, the truth is, Ford CEO Jim Farley can rightfully take much of the credit for this turnaround. He's put his head on the block, and so far, he's come up trumps. He's implemented a number of changes at the automaker since taking the helm last fall. Now, for those reasons and more, Farley has also made the Bloomberg 50 list, which honors the people that deserve recognition for their achievements every year. So, what were Bloomberg's reasons for saying he should be on the 50 list? Well, one of those was his increase in Ford's investment in electric cars from $22 billion to $30 billion. And in addition to that, him deciding that Ford must ramp up to 600,000 electric vehicles during 2022. Now, in addition to that, Ford's new electric vehicle, the Mustang Mach-E, has enjoyed huge success throughout the year. Its success would be way, way greater if Ford could make enough of these vehicles to meet demand. They're coming nowhere near close to meeting demand. Now, in addition to all those things I've mentioned, Ford continues to invest heavily in self-driving technology, which is spearheaded by its subsidiary Argo AI. People don't mention this. In fact, almost no one is talking about this, but Argo AI are actually doing some very impressive things. Now, these are just a few of the many key strategic moves that Jim Farley has made as the CEO of Ford over the past 12 months. And these moves have rightfully earned him the admiration of Wall Street and the business world alike. And I have to say, over the last month, I have become a believer in Jim Farley. I never thought I would say that. I never thought I'd say that Ford were on the up, but they are. And even though it's going to be difficult, it's certainly going to be difficult. Ford have a lot of debt. Their car sales have been declining every year now for a number of years. But in spite of that, I believe that Ford are on the brink of turning it around. Why? Well, it all comes down to their understanding, their realization within the last few months that electric cars are the future. And they have no choice but to go all in. Thanks for watching the channel. I appreciate your support. I look forward to seeing you again on the next one. Bye-bye.